Hello and welcome back. We're so glad you're here today. Come and join the Young Toddler group as we interact and play. My name is Tamika Reese and I'll be your guide through this visit. This month's theme, we're talking about insects and bugs. So this week, during this visit, we're going to discuss our parent-child interaction. We're going to talk about the family well-being, and we're also going to go over the developmental centered parenting handout. Okay, let's get started. So to begin our visit, we always start with the welcome song. So remember, the song is to get your child focused on the activity that we're going to do. Just to kind of get everyone together in one place to get started. So our song is hello. So it's hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. Miss Tamika's here, Miss Tamika's here. Hello, and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. So when you start the song, you're going to start off with the child's name. So you're going to say your child's name, and then you're going to go on to the other people that are going to be involved in the activity. So if grandma's joining the activity, you're like, grandma's here, hello, and how are you? And then you give grandma an opportunity to answer and tell you how she's doing. So if she's happy, she's sad, she's upset, she's mad, she's excited, then grandma will have that opportunity to respond to how she's feeling. And this is a good way for you to identify some of those emotions that your child are feeling and helping them learn how to label the emotions that they're feeling. So it doesn't always have to be I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. Just be creative with the song, and then maybe talk about the different emotions that go along with it. So you can can you show me a mad face? Can you show me a happy face? Are you feeling mad? Are you happy? Are you excited? Just remember to use that social emotional language with your child as you go along throughout this time. Now we're going to have our book reading, and the name of our book is The Grouchy Ladybug. And look, I found a ladybug that one of my daughters painted. So our ladybug is going to join us through our book reading. So the name of this book is The Grouchy Ladybug. And so remember, when you're reading to your child, you're going to talk to your child about the different parts of the book. So you're going to talk about the front of the book, then you have the spine of the book, and you have the back of the book. All right, remember, look, some of those social emotional words, grouchy. Sometimes we do have grouchy toddlers. So let's see what happens with this grouchy ladybug. It says, it was night and some fireflies danced around the moon. At 5 o'clock in the morning, the sun came up. A friendly ladybug flew over from the left and saw a leaf with many aphids on it and decided to have them for breakfast. But just then, a grouchy ladybug flew in from the right. It saw the aphids and wanted them for breakfast. Good morning, said the friendly ladybug. Go away, shouted the grouchy ladybug. I want those aphids. So, can we share them? Suggested the friendly ladybug. No, they're mine. All mine, screamed the grouchy ladybug. Or do you want to fight me for them? If you insist, answered the friendly ladybug sweetly, and it looked to the other bug straight in the eye. The grouchy ladybug stepped back. It looked less sure of yourself. Oh, I'm not big enough for me to fight, it said. Then why don't you pick on someone bigger? I'll do that, screeched the grouchy ladybug. I'll show you. It puffed itself up and flew off. Wow. At 6 o'clock, it met a yellow jacket. Hello, said the grouchy. Hey, you, said the grouchy ladybug. You want to fight? If you insist, said the yellow jacket, showing its stinker. Oh, you're not big enough, said the grouchy ladybug, and it flew off. At 7 o'clock, it met a beetle. Hey, you, said the grouchy ladybug. You want to fight? If you insist, said the beetle, opening its jaws. Oh, you're not big enough, the grouchy ladybug said, and it flew off. At 8 o'clock, it met a praying mantis. "Hey you," said the grouchy ladybug. "You want to fight?" "If you insist." The praying mantis reached out its long front legs. "Oh, you're not big enough," said the grouchy ladybug, and it flew off. At 9 o'clock, it almost flew into a sparrow. "Hey you," the grouchy ladybug said. "You want to fight?" "If you insist," said the sparrow, and it opened its sharp beak. "Oh no, you're not big enough for me to fight," said the grouchy ladybug, and it flew off. At 7 o'clock, it met a lobster and tried to fight the lobster. At 11 o'clock, it met a skunk and tried to fight the skunk. At 12 o'clock, it met a boa constrictor and tried to fight the boa constrictor. At 1 o'clock, it met a hyena. "Hey you," said the grouchy ladybug. "You want to fight?" "If you insist," said the hyena, and laughed its eerie and showing his teeth. "Oh, you're not big enough." And the grouchy ladybug flew off. At 2 o'clock, he met a gorilla and asked him to fight. At 3 o'clock, he met a rhinoceros and asked him if he wanted to fight. At 4 o'clock, he met an elephant. "Hey you," the grouchy ladybug said. "You want to fight?" "If you insist," said the elephant, raising its trunk and showing its big tusk. "Oh, you're not big enough," said the grouchy ladybug, and he flew off. At 5 o'clock, it met a whale. "Hey you," the grouchy ladybug said. "You want to fight?" But the blue whale did not answer at all. "You're not big enough anyway," said the grouchy ladybug, and he flew off. Uh-oh. At 5:15, the grouchy ladybug said to one of the blue whale flippers, "Hey you want to fight?" But it got no answer, so it flew on. At 5:30, the grouchy ladybug said to the fin, "Hey you!" But it got no answer, so it flew on. At 5:45, the grouchy ladybug said to the whale's tail, "Hey you wanna fight?" And the tail gave the grouchy ladybug such a slap that it flew across the sea, across to the land. Wow, that was a big slap. At 6 o'clock, the grouchy ladybug arrived right back where it had started. And "Here you are again," said the friendly ladybug. "You must be hungry. There's still some aphids left. You can have them for dinner." "Oh, thank you," said the wet, tired, and hungry ladybug. It says, "Thank you. You're welcome." Soon, all the aphids were gone. "Thank you," said the leaf. "You're welcome," answered both ladybugs, and they went to sleep. The fireflies, who had been sleeping all day, came and danced around the moon. The end. I really hope you enjoyed that book. It's kind of a book you can talk about different times. You can talk about being grouchy and what it gets you. And then it also talks about being a good friend, how even though someone might be grouchy later on, you can still be a nice friend to them. So I hope you can kind of talk to your child about the different lessons they can learn in this book. So our parent-child interaction for this week is entitled Sock Puppets. So for this activity, you're going to need an adult sock and a permanent marker. Okay? So if you want, you can do 1 or 2 socks. It's up to you. So here I have 2 socks. I'm going to make 2 puppets. Okay. So when you're doing this activity, we're going to focus on the developmental skill of motor skills. Playing with puppets use small muscles in your child's hands and fingers. And we're also going to talk about the language. So when you're doing this activity, you're going to focus on your child's language development. So that's the main one we want to talk about, is our language development. So your child is facilitating, playing with language, and hearing the puppet talk attracts their attention. Your child learns best in the language rich environment. So the more they're surrounded by language is the more that they will understand and the more that they will say. So it's very important that you offer your child lots and lots of language, talking to them constantly, talking about what they're doing, talking about what you're doing, talking about some of the expectations, or asking questions about some of the things that they're doing, and giving them, not just you always giving them the language, but giving them the opportunity to respond to you and talk back to you. So it's like a give and take. It's a call and response when you're talking about language. So our safety tip for this activity is, when you're using the permanent marker, do not allow your child to color on themselves, because and don't leave your child unsupervised with the markers. It's very important that we try to make sure we monitor our child while they're using these permanent markers. Okay. So the parenting behavior for this activity is communicating. So remember, we're going to focus on communicating with our child. So your child is learning to is learning the turn-taking rhythm of conversations when the puppet talks to each other or to him. So as a parent, you kind of like, this is for you to they're helping your child learn how to communicate, and it's very important for them later on in life, and then in the household, understanding that when they're having conversations, that it's a back and forth exchange, and for them to have a conversation, they're going to have to listen, and they're going to have to express themselves. So just giving them the opportunities. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our puppets, and you're going to put it on your hand. So, and you can let your child watch you as you put it on your hand. So here I have it, just the sock on my hand. And then you're going to take it. You see I have the top part a little loose. And I'm going to push it in so that it forms a mouth. So now we have our puppet and a mouth, and it can talk. So it could be a little tricky at times trying to get it all in there. So you're going to just leave, like, see how I have the toe of the sock. I left a little space in the front, and then I'm going to push it all in. And now I have a talking puppet. Hello. So then once you do that, you can use your permanent marker or your fabric marker, and you're going to draw just eyes. You can make 2 eyes, a nose, and then you have your mouth. So if you want, maybe you could put some lips on there, so when they open the mouth, open and close, you can see that. But it's up to you. You can get as creative as you want. If you want to, maybe you can use some yarn to make some hair. If you have googly eyes, maybe you can draw that on there, or just simple as using the marker to make the puppet. So it's on you and how creative you want to get with this puppet. And this is a good way for you to kind of start conversations with your child. So when you start, you can begin by talking and singing for the puppet. So you can use your puppet and you be like, hello, 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 and how are you? Or twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. So let's just have fun with your child or the puppet. It's like, hello, how are you? Just be creative, have fun, just really kind of get into and engage with your child as they explore. So then after you do that, you can take the puppet off and put it back on, and maybe encourage your child to try the puppet. Say, it's your turn, you can try. Let's see how you play with the puppet. So see how, just be silly, be creative with your child as you're doing this. Then after that, maybe if your child wants their own puppet, remember, socks come in pairs. So you can make it a puppet for yourself and a puppet for your child. So once you make another puppet from the sock, maybe you can have the 2 puppets sing and talk to each other. So you can be like, now I have 2 puppets. See how this works for me. Hello, hello. What's your name? Sarah, what's your name? Oh, my name is Mateo. Hi, Mateo. Nice to meet you. Hi, Sarah. Nice to meet you. So this is a good way for you to kind of start those conversations off with your child. It's up to you on how you want to do it. Okay? Then you can let your child lead the play and observe them as they're doing it. So, for example, some toddlers like to play kissing with the puppets, or maybe they can make the puppets talk to each other. So it's up to you on how long you want to do this activity and play. Just let your child explore, have fun, and also let them kind of guide the play and see where they're going to go with that. And make sure you give the time for you to talk and give time for the puppet to respond and give time for your child to do some of the talking. So in a way for you to continue this activity after you've done it for the first time with your well, you've done it together with your child, is you can make different kinds of puppets. There are all different kinds of possibilities. So maybe you can use like a wooden spoon and draw a face on the wooden spoon, or stuffed animals. When they lose their filling, maybe you can take some of the filling out and then you can use that stuffed animal, put it on your hand and make it a puppet. Another way to do a puppet is with a paper plate. So maybe you can fold the paper plate in half to make it into a mouth, or maybe you could just kind of do it like a mask, to where maybe they can kind of put their face in front of them, and then a washcloth in the tub when they're taking their bath. Maybe you can use that washcloth or whatever to be creative and make it into a puppet. So you can kind of use these opportunities to, maybe you might need to kind of talk to your child about some kind of subject, or just kind of just that play, that fun, creative things that you're going to do with your child. But there's different ways for you to extend this activity, and it's up to you and the creativity that you have with your child. But this is a good activity for you to do with them. I hope you really enjoy it. So our development-centered parenting, we're going to talk about verbal development. So that's about your child's talking and everything like that. So that's kind of like goes along with our puppet, encouraging your child to use those words to express themselves. That's about their verbal development. So your toddler years are a very exciting time for language development, from the child's first word to the child's first sentence to the interesting, funny comments that your child will beginning to make about the world. Parents are an important part of this amazing process. So verbal development is the way in which children begin to both understand and produce language as a form of communication. Verbal development intensifies during the child's second and third year. Many parents instinctively help to promote their child's linguistic development by talking, singing, and reading. This is just what you do. Through these daily actions, children learn to talk by learning new words, using phrases and sentences, and engaging in conversation. So have you ever noticed like your child might have picked up a saying that you just, where did they learn that from? Like, or your child might be like, oh my God, or oh, that's funny. So it's not because of something that you actually just taught them, say that's funny, but they've picked it up through the verbiage and the communication that they've seen you use or they've seen others use. So that having that constant verbal communication going on with your child is very important. So why verbal development matters? Verbal development matters because language and communication are critical for social development and learning. Parents make a difference because the home is the largest influence on verbal development until the child finishes second grade. So your home is the most influential place that your child is going to learn these verbal cues and development until your child is in second grade. So the amount of talking your child wants to communicate with you even before your child can use words. Parents often wonder how often to talk to their children. The answer is easy: as often as possible. The type of talking, children develop their oral language skills through conversations with others, and always learn more by talking with real people than watching a television or interacting with other types of media. The ability to use language to effectively communicate with others is the key component in a child's early development and, of course, to their long-term success in school and beyond. So let's see, what can you do as a parent? As a parent, Keep talking. It's very important for you to constantly talk to your child. This strengthens the connection with your child and lets your child get started on the path of more complex conversations. According to, acknowledge their child's efforts by looking at your child when you're talking to them and providing comments and questions. Also, research shows that children whose parents talk more tend to have larger vocabulary. Additionally, use rich vocabulary when you're talking about the world around you. Another thing you can do is follow your child's lead. And respond to their intentions. Then what you can do is don't expect perfect speech from your toddler. Even your 5-year-old. Learning how to make sounds correctly takes time. What you can do is help build your child's vocabulary by describing lots of details about the things around them, but use short sentences. Using questions and elaborate when talking to your children. That's the one thing you can do. Answer your child's questions too and engage your child into conversation. Reading to your child can expose them to a wide range of sounds and words. Find books that you both think are funny and stop before you get bored. So it's very important for you to read to your child. Turn off the television. That's one thing you can do. Turn off the television and engage with your child. Children learn language best when they're interacting with a live person, not a television or a computer or a tablet. And if you connect with your child, if you're concerned about your child's difficulty with speech, talk to your child's healthcare provider and they can help guide you to which direction that you need to go with your child. So remember, verbal development is very important at this age, and it's very important for you as a parent to constantly communicate with your child and giving them that verbal cues that they need. Okay, so we're gonna get started with our family well-being. So what we're going to talk about is trunk entrapment. So the NHTSA is dedicated to promoting safe behaviors on the national roads. So children are naturally curious and love to explore their surroundings. If you leave your kid unattended in or near a vehicle, it may not be long before they are playing in it. Hide and seek can turn into a deadly if they are trapped in the trunk. When temperatures rise, they rise very quick and it can result into a heat stroke. So as of September 1st, 2001, automobiles manufacturers required the equipment for new vehicles for a glow-in-the-dark trunk release inside of the trunk compartment. Show your child how to use this release in case of an emergency. If your child is older and does not have the if your car is older and does not have the glow-in-the-dark trunk release, ask your automobile dealership about getting you a vehicle retrofitted for a trunk release mechanism. So prevention tips. Children that vehicles they have cargo are not for playing. So teach your child that your child is not, the cargo is not for playing. So your trunk is not for you to play in. Check your trunk right away if your child is missing. Lock your car doors and trunk keep your keys and your remote and for your car away from out of the sight of children. So let's not make it a habit for our kids to be able to play with our keys, but make sure we keep them in a safe place where they can't reach them. Keeping your rear seat keeping the rear seat locked. So making sure that they're not able to open up that back part of your seat. You know how some seats in the back, it reclines open for you to have access to the trunk. Let's make sure we keep that part of the trunk, that car, locked so that kids aren't able to have access to the trunk and get stuck in there. What you need to know. Many factors can contribute to trunk entrapment, injury, or death. Always supervise children and never leave them alone in or around a vehicle for any reason. So that is important. Always supervise your child. Do not leave your child alone in the car. I don't care if you're just going in the store for 2.5 seconds or if you're just running into grandma's house to dropping this off and coming back to the car. It's very important for you to supervise your child. Do not leave your child unattended in the car. Especially in these when the summers get so hot in Houston. You might think, oh, it's not that hot. But oh, I'm gonna leave the car running, it's gonna be okay. But you just never know what can happen. Anything can happen in a split second. So it's very important that you are all have your child with you. And if your child comes up missing, make sure you check the trunk first. That might be a place where they might think they're playing hide and seek, and they go in there and they're hiding, but it could be a very dangerous situation. So trunk entrapment is similar, have a similar risk to a heat stroke. Even in cooler temperature, your vehicle can heat up to dangerous temperatures very quick. An outside temperature in the mid 60s can cause a vehicle inside temperature to rise above 110 degrees Fahrenheit. The inside temperature of your car can rise almost 20 degrees Fahrenheit within the first 10 minutes. So it only takes about 10 minutes for the temperature to rise above 20 degrees higher inside of your car. So it's very important that you monitor your child. Make sure you keep those keys in a place where they can't reach them. And if your child has come up missing, might have that idea maybe they're in the trunk. So just make sure you are very vigilant about your child and what they're doing. And just a safety tip for you and your family. I want to thank you for taking this time to enjoy this video with me. I just have a few announcements. Remember, we have our material distribution on April 1st. We have some things coming up. April 9th is our parent meeting for the month. Your home visitor will send you the link for via Zoom. We're also going to have our socialization at the end of the month. It's going to be April 30th. And we're also going to have a special guest. The Houston Children's Museum is going to be there, and they're going to have a presentation for you and an activity for you to do with your child. Be on the lookout for more information about that. And then we have we're in partnership with the Dolly Parton Library, and it's an activity. I mean, it's a opportunity for you to receive one book per month for your child. So every month they will be mailing you a free book. It's a free opportunity. So get with your home visitor to see what you need to do in order to sign up for that. We're trying to get that done before the end of the month. So it's very important. If you want this free book, it's going to come every month for your child until the age of 5. So if your child is 2.5, and you're going to get a book every month for the next 2.5 years until your child is 5. So that's a good opportunity for you to build a library in your own home and have those different resources and books for you to read with your child. So that's about it. Just remember, we have the distribution on April 1st. That's this Thursday. We have our parent meeting coming up and socialization. And remember, on Friday, April 3rd, it's going to be a holiday, so there'll be no classes on that day. So we won't have any makeup classes. That's on a Friday. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Looking forward to seeing you next week.